Hello and welcome to Advertisers Watching Ads. My name is Tom Ollerton. I'm the founder of Automated Creative, and this is a weekly show where brands watch other brands' ads and discuss what's good and bad about them. We're brought to you by Contagious.com, who go out and find the ads every week. So thanks so much, guys, for your ongoing partnership there. So before we get to the ad, let's meet this week's guests.
I'm Cordelia. I'm the Media and Content Director for Mars Wrigley UK.
I'm Ian Crocombe. I'm Global Strategy Director at Deft.
Everyone, I'm Justin Carbonella. I'm a Human Insights Director at Coca-Cola North America.
Great to have you on the show. Let's see this week's ads. Okay, Ian, what are we actually looking at here? Can you explain what this activation is and how it works?
So it's Pfizer. They make the COVID jab that seems to work the best, which is exciting for everybody. They want to connect with Gen Z and get them to take their jabs. So they've built some kind of digital twin. So if you get your vaccination in the real life, then when you go into your, whatever it's called, Ciudad Alta or whatever, when you go into the game, then effectively you can get a level up boost for the period of this as well. So it's like a persistent metaverse twinning thing.
Do you think it's a clever idea? What were the good things about this that you liked?
Well, I mean, I think that the video itself is just what it is, and I reckon it's going to be reworked about 5 billion times before it's entered into the awards. But yeah, I mean, but the activation underneath it's really, really interesting, and I like the idea of it. I think there's some interesting stuff around Pfizer as well.
And Cordelia, what was your take on this when you first saw it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's quite nice. Good of them to try and reach their audience, given that's where vaccine take-up is lowest. I think it's quite a simple idea, but I think that's no bad thing. Vaccine is good. Vaccine gives you full health bar. I'd be really interested and maybe as the iterations of the video award video get updated, I'd be really interested in, did it actually shift behavior? How many people actually did this? I couldn't find consumers talking about the hashtag and trying to get the sticker on their arm. Did it work? Did it cut through? Did it drive behavior? Is what I'd be super interested in.
And how about you, Justin? What was your reaction to this?
I think a lot of times when you see these activations that aren't necessarily ads, it's all about the impressions. How many people did this reach? How many people thought about the brand in a different way? Pfizer really isn't a brand that needs more people talking about it right now. I think everyone has pretty high brand awareness of Pfizer right now. But I think the success of this is almost going to be more around, did it shift those behaviors? And I think if this is going to be deemed a successful campaign, it almost has to not just win from the impression standpoint, it needs to win from the conversion to getting more people vaccinated or at least sharing their vaccines status. I think from a Gen Pop perspective, this is a great idea, and it'd be hard to say that this isn't a good way to get people involved, but I'm curious to see about what the actual gaming audience thinks about this, if they're being used in a weird way to promote vaccine.
So I think what's super interesting as we're moving into this next iteration of the web is that stuff is going down on Discord, Twitch, Twitter. It's not on LinkedIn, which is where I hang out most of the time. So I think it's really good. And I think, so they're using like Grand Theft Auto 5 role-playing, which is an open world version of GTA. And it means anyone can run their own server. So it's almost like a kind of a Minecrafty Roblox type environment. And within your server, you can set your own rules and run it your own way. And I had a little dig into it, but it looks like this is like a big Brazilian community they've got on there. It's one of the big esports teams. Another one of the big servers have come together. They're not the first brand to do this. Like Brahma Beer have been in there. Tinder have advertised in there. It's a fairly risk-free thing for Pfizer to do. So I would assume it would work. But I do think there's a I don't want to say will it scale, but there's definitely a scale problem. Like to get into this world, you have to be whitelisted on their Discord server. You have to do the dance and everything else. So it's not for a lot of people to take part in. It's for a lot of people to read about.
Okay, so Cordelia, what would have made this better in your view?
They obviously touched on the ecosystem in the video. Looked like they worked with some influencers that are big in the gaming space in Brazil. I think I'd really like to understand how the entire thing played out. I think the risk gaming is such an important area for a lot of brands to be considering, given its scale. I think the risk with everything gaming for me is that those campaigns are made by people who aren't really a part of the ecosystem, and it doesn't land right in an authentic way. So yeah, I'd be really interested in, did it actually shift behaviors? How many normal unpaid consumers kind of tweeted about that? How many got the badge? Did it shift anyone's views on vaccinations? I think it's those bits for me that are super important. So yeah, I think the video touched on the idea with some examples of people talking about it that they use in the ecosystem, but I think it could have been broader in their approach potentially.
Justin, do you think this execution will only work in a sort of quasi-medical environment, or could this just work on Candy Crush? Or you get some new skins on your rifle in Fortnite or whatever. Sport, boost, health. There's an authentic link between those things. But does it really matter if the UK government want to get people to get the booster jab? Just give them a level up on Candy Crush. Not being a Candy Crush player, I don't know if you level up or whatever that means. But
I think so. I mean, every game in and of itself has lives. We always talked about I'm on my last life and it's Mario, or I'm on my last try on Candy Crush. So I think that there's ways that you can always enhance the experience. It's getting a lot of the games, they actually call it getting a boost or something like that. So I think that it does have universal opportunity to go in there. I think the part for me that was the most interesting is, does this need to be branded? And the challenges that come from having something branded in almost a content type structure is you almost run the risk of, does my brand seem like it's trying too hard? Does the brand even have a role here? Why can't they just get the credit without having to have a brand assigned to it?
And Ian, do you think there's a situation in the real world outside of marketing wonderland where a consumer is playing this game and think, I wasn't going to go and get the vaccine, but now I know I can get a boost in this game. I'm going to trot down to my local pharmacy and get the boost. Is that really going to, will a computer game be the thing that gets people over the edge? Or am I still going to elicit the same, it's just an awards entry response from you?
Yeah, I don't know. I actually really like it. I mean, I would definitely put that on my CV if I'd been involved with it. I think it's interesting what Cordelia was saying about gaming communities being quite protective. Definitely what I've seen, I've got teenage kids who've been through Roblox and they've been through Minecraft and they've been through this GTA mod as well. And so effectively it's kind of a social network for them. They hang out there with their mates, they go and do missions and tasks. So if a brand shows up with something a bit quirky and fun, I think people will react to it. And I think it just normalizes the jab for kids at that age. So for me, it's a little bit more like your favorite TV show being brought to you by someone with a funny plot twist, rather than, do you know what I mean? I think it's just a part of the environment rather than the whole reason to be there.
I don't think many people playing the game are going to want to get the virtual jab, go get the real jab the next day. And I actually think in terms of trying to simplify the campaign, I probably would have left off that you need to tweet a copy of your vaccine certification, because GTA isn't real life. I don't play GTA, but going around shooting people, aren't you? You're not meant to be doing that in real life. I feel like that connection wasn't necessarily needed. But I think the simple thing of vaccines are good, they help in a game, because subtly the idea is, of course, they help in real life, I think is a positive thing that counteracts, a lot of false information that exists on digital spaces. I'm sure the gaming space as well. So I think, is someone going to actually get the vaccine to get the boost? Probably not. But is it a nice, positive, simple message that works within the game? Yeah, I think so.
So unfortunately, we're at the end of the recording now. So what I'm going to get you guys to do, if you don't mind, is give this activation a vote out of 5. So 1, 2, 3. A 4, a 4, and a 5 from Ian. Fantastic. Ian, Justin, Cordelia, thank you so much. We will see you all next week.